Have you ever wondered if itching could be more than just a physical annoyance? And have you ever thought that it could have a deep spiritual meaning? What if we told you that itching can hide a deep spiritual meaning that no one has ever told you? A message that your body, mind, and spirit are trying to communicate to you. A secret message that you would do well to listen to, so that you can live at peace with yourself and with the world around you. Sounds amazing, right? But in the heart of Japan, in an ancient monastery, a wise monk named Tetsuo has dedicated his life to studying mysteries like this. And in this fascinating Zen story, we will take you on a journey to discover ancient wisdom and a new perspective on itching. You will discover how itching can be a sign of imbalance, an invitation to healing, an opportunity for spiritual growth. And if you stay until the end of the video, you will understand how to discover when itching is a simple physical annoyance and when, on the contrary, it is a spiritual messenger. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to be informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The morning sun filtered through the leaves of the maples of the Zen monastery of Komyo-ji, illuminating the wrinkled but serene face of the venerable monk Tetsuo. His disciples, sitting in a semicircle around him, eagerly awaited his words. Tetsuo was known for his enigmatic parables and profound teachings, capable of touching the heart and awakening the mind. That day, however, the topic seemed, only on the surface, unusually banal and earthly: itching. My dear disciples, the monk began with an enigmatic smile. Today, I want to talk to you about a phenomenon that all of us have experienced, but which few have truly understood: itching. A murmur of surprise spread among the disciples. The itching? What could it have to do with spirituality? Master, asked shyly Sakura, a young raven-haired disciple, isn't the itching just a physical annoyance, a symptom of some allergy or irritation? Tetsuo nodded. In many cases, Sakura, you are right, but itching can be much more than just a physical ailment. It can be a messenger, a signal that our body, mind, and spirit send to us to get our attention. A messenger? Taro, an older disciple with a thick white beard, asked curiously. And what is this messenger telling us? This, Tetsuo replied, is the question we must ask ourselves every time we feel the itch. What is our body telling us? What is our mind telling us? What is our spirit telling us? Tetsuo scratched his chin thoughtfully, as if searching for the right words. Often, he said, we think of itching as a simple physical discomfort caused by an insect bite, an allergy, or dry skin. And in many cases, this is the truth. But there is another level of meaning, a spiritual meaning, that we often ignore. The disciples listened with growing attention, enraptured by their mentor's words. Itching, Tetsuo continued, can be a sign of imbalance, of disharmony. It can indicate that something in our life is wrong, that there is an area that requires our attention and healing. It can be an invitation to look inside ourselves, to explore our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions. Tetsuo paused, letting his words sink into the minds of his disciples. I remember, he said, a time when a persistent itch tormented me. I couldn't concentrate on meditation, nor find peace in my thoughts. Initially, I thought it was just an allergic reaction to pollen, but the itching persisted even after taking the medicine. What did you do, Master? Sakura asked with concern and great curiosity. I began to meditate on the itch itself, replied the master. I observed the sensations. I explored the emotions that came from it. And slowly, I began to understand that the itching was a reflection of a deep anxiety that I had repressed, an anxiety related to an important decision I had to make. And then, Taro asked, what did you do to make this discovery turn into something positive? Once I recognized and addressed that anxiety, the itching went away, Tetsuo replied. I realized that my body was sending me a signal, an invitation to take care of my mind and spirit. Then, as his eyes shone with wisdom and his smile spread peace, he added, The itch, my dears, is a call to action. It is an invitation to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. It is an invitation to find balance, harmony, and inner peace. The disciples were fascinated. Tetsuo's words had opened their eyes to a new way of seeing itching, a way that went far beyond simple physical discomfort. Thanks to the master's explanations, they realized that throughout their lives they had often felt itching without a specific physical reason. But Master, Sakura asked, how can we distinguish between a physical itch and a spiritual one? It's not always easy, Sakura, the monk replied, but there are some clues we can look for. A spiritual itch tends to be persistent, unresponsive to physical treatments, and accompanied by other sensations or emotions, such as anxiety, frustration, or restlessness. Tetsuo continued, furthermore, a spiritual itch can manifest itself in specific areas of the body, each of which has symbolic meaning. For example, an itchy hand can indicate a desire to take action, to change something in our life. An itchy foot can suggest a need for rooting for stability, to find a place in the world where we can feel like ourselves. An itchy head can be a sign of mental confusion or thought overload. The disciples listened intently, taking mental notes. The lesson on itching became more and more interesting. Tetsuo, looking his disciples in the eyes, continued his lesson by telling about a new disciple who had once arrived at the monastery. He was a young man tormented by constant itching in his hands. He had consulted numerous doctors, but none had been able to find a cause or cure. Desperate, Hiroshi had decided to seek help in the monastery, hoping to find relief in Tetsuo's wisdom. The monk welcomed Hiroshi warmly and invited him to share his story. And the young man told of his hectic life, his stressful job, and his constant dissatisfaction. He had always looked for happiness externally, accumulating material goods and chasing ephemeral successes, but nothing seemed to quench his internal itch. Tetsuo listened carefully, nodding every now and then. When Hiroshi finished speaking, Tetsuo said to him, Hiroshi, your itchy hands are not just a physical ailment. It is a sign that your soul is restless, that there is an unexpressed desire burning inside you. Your hands, tools of action and creation, are asking you to express your true nature, to follow your passion. Hiroshi was confused. But Master, he said, I don't know what my true passion is. I have always done what others expected of me, what society considered right and appropriate. Tetsuo nodded and replied, your true passion, Hiroshi, is like a seed buried deep in the earth. It needs to be nurtured, cared for, and brought to light. Start exploring your interests, experimenting with new activities, following your curiosity. And above all, don't be afraid to make mistakes, to try again. Only in this way will you be able to discover what truly makes your soul vibrate. Hiroshi, inspired by Tetsuo's words, began to dedicate time every day to self-discovery. He experimented with painting, writing, music, dancing, cooking, gardening. Every activity opened new doors for him, showed him aspects of himself that he didn't know. And slowly, the itchy hands began to subside. One day, while he was working in the monastery garden, he felt a deep and unexpected joy. His hands, immersed in the earth, seemed to dance among the plants, creating harmony and beauty. In that moment, Hiroshi understood that his true passion was nature, taking care of the earth and its creatures. And from that day on, he enthusiastically dedicated himself to gardening, transforming the monastery garden into an oasis of peace and abundance. The itchy hands had completely disappeared, replaced by a feeling of contentment and serenity. He had found his true calling, his purpose in life. The disciples reflected on the story they had just heard, understanding the profound message it contained. The itch, like life itself, was a journey, an opportunity for growth and transformation. From that day, Tetsuo's disciples began to see the itch with different eyes. It was no longer just an annoyance, but an opportunity, an invitation to explore one's inner world and find peace, balance and healing. And so itching, from a simple physical symptom, transformed into a powerful tool for spiritual growth, a path towards self-realization. In the following days, the disciples began to share their experiences with the itch. Sakura told how an itchy throat had pushed her to express an opinion that she had long kept repressed, freeing her from an internal burden. Taro spoke of an itchy leg that had led him to embark on a pilgrimage, discovering new perspectives and renewed motivation in his spiritual practice. Every itch, every signal from the body, became an opportunity to deepen self-knowledge, to face one's fears and insecurities, to free oneself from old patterns and embrace change. And the Kammyoji monastery became a place of healing and transformation, where itching, from an annoying symptom, was transformed into a precious ally on the spiritual path. Over time, the wise monk continued to guide his disciples with love and compassion, teaching them to listen to body language and find inner peace.